Hello everyone, Eddie here again with another video. And as I had said previously in some other videos, I know I've been MIA for a while, but I actually received an article from a friend who wanted to know my thoughts on it, and that was one of the catalysts to get me coming back to actually doing videos. So today is actually Martin Luther King's birthday, where we celebrate and honor the life of one of the great civil rights leaders. It's not just technically a holiday, but for most African Americans, it's also considered a day of service where we assist others and, usually volunteer our services. So, without further ado, let's jump to the article that my friend wanted to get my opinion on. Okay. So it says National Parks cut free entry for MLK Day at Trump birthday. Okay. In 2026, Americans will get free admission to national parks on President Donald Trump's birthday, but no longer on Juneteenth and Martin Luther King Jr. Day, according to the National Park Service website. Previously, the National Park Services included these two federal holidays among its free entry days for around 100 park sites. Federally recognized in 2021 under the Biden administration, Juneteenth has been celebrated for more than a century and a half. The day commemorates the final end of slavery in Confederate states just after the end of Civil War. The NPS also added more free admission days for next year, calling them patriotic fee-free days, such as Trump's birthday on June 14th, July 4th weekend, and the 110th birthday of NPS. The Department of Interior did not immediately respond to USA Today's request for comments. The move is one of several for NPS under executive order designed to allow more Americans to visit national parks and also cut back on DEI policies. Recently, NPS announced an American First initiative that would charge an additional $100 per person onto foreign tourists without an annual pass to enter the 11 most national parks starting January 1st. Starting next year, the free days will only apply to U.S. citizens and residents, according to the NPS website. These policies ensure that U.S. taxpayers who already support the national park system continue to enjoy affordable access, while international visitors contribute their fair share to maintaining and improving our parks for future generations, Interior Secretary Doug Burgum said in his news release. Here's what travelers should know. Which days are national parks free in 2026? President's Day, February 16th, Memorial Day, Flag Day, President Donald Trump birthday, June 14th, Independence Day weekend, 110th birthday of the National Park Services, Constitution Day, September 17th, Theodore Roosevelt birthday, October 27th, and Veterans Day, November 11th. How much does it cost to visit the national parks? Some national parks are free, while others charge an entry fee that's typically no more than $35 per vehicle. And I believe that is the end of the article. Okay. So I guess we do have quite a bit to unpack here. So, as we're getting my reaction for the first time, I had heard that he wanted to get rid of the free park day for MLK Day. And I'm not sure if I knew about Juneteenth, but it doesn't strike me as, I mean, it kind of fits in line because, quote, it's DEI. So I guess my first question is that when did Martin Luther King Day become a DEI holiday? As I said when I first opened up, we actually recognize a great civil rights leader, arguably one of our best civil rights leader. We celebrate and honor his life and what he did for the country and his nonviolence protesting, who also was a great orator. He had "I Had a Dream" speech, and of course, everybody lines, including the racist, always like to say, judge me by the content of my character, not by the color of my skin, and then they'll leave out everything else about him, but they want to say that basically, King wouldn't approve of DEI, and then Juneteenth, you want to take the holiday away for Juneteenth. I I don't understand. I guess the first thing I want to do is that this is something that I actually will attribute to my mother when she used to get into arguments about people not liking holidays and thinking that they were just a waste of time. And so she would ask someone, well, are you going to go into work? Do you volunteer to do extra work? Or, if they let you work overtime or special holiday pay, do you go in? Because if you don't like the holiday, then no one's really forcing you to celebrate. But it seems like I enjoy a day off, but then again, MLK never really feels like a day off. Again, for black people, and I can't speak for everybody else, but mainly for black people, it's considered a day of service where we assist, where we volunteer, where we help someone else, because Dr. King, that's what he was about, servicing others, helping others. Actually, you can follow Jesus Christ in seeing that. He loved to help the poor and the sick and the immigrants. I mean, he spoke of that. So, it's a noble thing. So it wasn't really a holiday. Juneteenth was kind of like, it is literally a celebration because, you know, blacks were free, but the dirty people in the South, and yes, I will say the dirty because they're low down and dirty, did not let them know that they were free, and it took the Northern Army men to come and tell them, no, you are free. They hold no power over you. You are free, and that became Juneteenth. And they could not do anything. Of course, we can get into history about, later down the line, you got into segregation and Jim Crow laws and all of that good stuff. But I guess really there's there's always a backlash. I would have to say is that when we celebrate a certain holiday that maybe depicts what the majority, soon to be minority, views of the United States, there's a problem with that because, it's hard to, I guess, yeah, it's really hard to say bad things about Dr. Martin Luther King. I mean, obviously we're all humans. Obviously we're all flawed in the eyes of God. As someone says, we're all sinners trying to be saints or striving to be more perfect beings. So we're all fallible, but Dr. King actually was a person who really tried, who believed in this country and believed that we can get what we want through nonviolent protest, to use our First Amendment right to enact change without being violent. Very commendable. But if you celebrate him, then you also have to look at what he was fighting against at that time, that dark period in our history where blacks were not treated fairly. And I would still argue today, still not treated fairly. Better, but I always chalked it up as that we're still striving to a more perfect union. We still are getting there. It's baby steps, but it's still taking the time. And I think with Juneteenth becoming a federal holiday, this is the backlash we're getting now. Of all the holidays to be singled out as too many holidays, we just go and pick the two black holidays, right? right? I mean, first it was, we shouldn't have Black History Month. Literally get the month with the fewest amount of days as Black History Month, and now you want to get rid of this. I just I just find it crazy that people, it's a federal holiday. Why would you not give that free day? I'm not a camper. I actually do have friends who like to camp. If they want to go camp on that day, why would you charge them? Why would you not just give them the federal holiday? But you want to give Trump's birthday as the federal holiday. Let me be clear, because this is where, as I said, is that I will show a little bit more of some of my irritation while still trying to be respectful. But Trump is a draft dodger, idiot, who was infidelity with all three of his wives. Obviously doesn't care anything about his children and is greedy. And we're okay with celebrating him and not Martin Luther King. Is that really what we're saying? Is that really what we're saying? That Trump's birthday is a greater thing to do than Martin Luther King's birthday? I'm just I'm just I'm looking at it as if, if you had champions and Martin Luther King is one of my champions, and I'm looking at your champion, whoever you may be who support Trump, and there's just no contest there. There's just no contest. You could say Trump is more wealthier than Martin Luther King. I'll give you that. Did he do it by himself? I mean, obviously there is a lot of reporting how his father basically bolstered him up and gave him money. I'm sure if any one of us had a wealthy millionaire father who gave us money, we would be just as well off. And obviously I'm getting on a tangent, but I guess I guess the problem I'm having is why attack the federal holidays that are designated for black people or that are given to black people as part of our history and culture. That's really what I'm getting at. I guess, why am I missing the fact that you want to charge people on Martin Luther King Day and on Juneteenth, but you have no problem celebrating Trump's birthday? Yeah, I'm actually at a loss of words. I really can't think of anything else to say with that, because clearly, clearly, I am missing something. I am really missing something, because I would love those people who say I don't see color to tell me what is different about these two holidays than all the other holidays on that list. You can go look up federal holidays for 2026, and if you look at MLK and Juneteenth and then all the other holidays, please tell me what is different about those two holidays and the rest of the holidays, Mr. or Mrs. I don't see color. And I'm not necessarily mad that you want to charge foreigners. I mean, we could argue about that. I think you probably would want to give them a reduced rate, but this is just me talking. Just because obviously you want to get them in the country, and then they would buy stuff and help stimulate the economy. But then again, what do I know? It really is just my opinion. So I just think that sometimes whenever black people get something or accomplish something, I'm truly beginning to believe that we actually do face a backlash. There's always some type of backlash and a step backwards, because if it seems like because because of Juneteenth, we have too many holidays now, and we need to correct that. Some of the holidays doesn't need to get that benefit, and so I'm just I don't know. I think I should probably stop now before I actually get angry and upset. But at any rate, as I always say, this is just my opinion. I would really love to hear yours in the comment section. Please tell me you're tripping or I agree with you. And if you guys continue to watch them, I will continue to create these videos. Thank you and be blessed.